on it and married me because he didn't have any other choice, and we won't doing that. And so we've been married for 16 years together, 18 years at this point. We have one child. She's 6 years old, and she runs everything. Yeah. So I'm a mental health therapist again, and so I have a business, also work with the hospital. We now live in Greenville, South Carolina. And so I just love to help people. I think I'm all right with what I do. I've done some pretty cool things. God has opened some amazing doors for me. So it's truly an honor to stand here before you guys. The presentation says that, visionary of Veranda Bellamy Enterprise and owner of Curative Behavioral Health and founder of a brand called Happyology, which I'm very proud of. Happyology is more curriculum that we follow or I teach with individuals that I do work with. My mission is to help my clients and or patients find happiness beyond trauma. I think that we've all dealt with some form of trauma in our lives. Everybody in here. Nobody is exempt. We all have, including me, right? I believe that you can still find happiness despite what you have gone through. And that's what I like to teach people. My vision is to transform people into happy people and happy communities by the working of God. So oftentimes I'm in communities that are not Christ-rooted, but you find me at the merge of bringing mental health and Christianity together, right? I think you can't do one without the other, right? So that's just me, though. I think y'all agree. So what is mental illness? Mental illness is a condition that affects a person's thinking. I don't know if they're static. Can you guys hear me okay? We're good? Mental illness is a condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, behavior, or mood. You hear about it oftentimes on the news by way of people murdering individuals, whether it's a family member, they're going into a school, they're going into their jobs. Mental illness is real. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be you. It's dealing with mental illness. But these conditions deeply impact day-to-day living and may also affect the ability to relate to others. If you have or think you might have a mental illness, the first thing you must know is that you are not alone. It can affect anybody. Mental health conditions are far more common than we may think. So when the pandemic came in, I found myself being interviewed a lot about mental illness. Do we remember the pandemic? We remember it, but it seems like it was so long ago, right? But it wasn't. It was just, 3 years ago, right? Well, 6 years ago is the start of it. But a lot took place in those 3 years that we were isolated. And people started to have to sit with themselves. And then they were like, oh, I do these things, I do this, or maybe I don't like my husband, right? Or maybe I don't like my wife. Things started to get real for so many people. For children, they were learning online. That was hard for kids. Not only for the kids, it was hard for the parents because the parents were the ones that was making sure, scurrying them to make sure they were on their computers, they were learning. And I don't know if anything really was taught during those years for kids, right? So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with those kids that were in core learning and once they graduate. But COVID brought about a lot of negativity and at the same time, a lot of awareness about what mental illness truly is. So I found myself being interviewed quite a bit about depression. I would teach about, parenting and how to parent your kids, what signs to notice. And I felt like therapy just kind of blew up during the pandemic. Before, it was taboo to get a therapist, right? He was like, I don't want to hire a shrink. I'm good, I got it, right? But with COVID, it became this thing where I couldn't keep up with the business. There was so much business coming in. And I was proud of everyone that was taking that big step to get help, to ask someone to guide them through whatever they're feeling, whether they're isolated, whether they have anger issues, and they notice it now, because we don't have to yell all the time. That is a common sign of having mental illness, yelling. If that's your first, and that's a whole nother discussion, that could be because of what you saw your parents do. Your parents yelled at you, and now you're doing it because you think it's okay, but it's not a common response. That it hurts people when you yell, right? So people are coming in for anger. People are coming in because they have a hard time with crying. They're just crying, having crying spells. People are feeling anxious, anxiety, and anxious too can show up as anger, right? And so all these feelings that they want to now talk about. And now I'm having dreams about being abused as a child. I kind of pressed that down, but now it's coming up. What do I do with this? How do I confront uncle, brother, cousin, whoever did whatever to me? Do I confront them? How do I navigate that, right? And so these are the calls that are coming into my practice. Sometimes people are dealing with mental illness, they'll turn to substances to kind of help them cope, right? It could be alcohol, it could be marijuana, it could be any other substance that you see on the street that people are using to help them cope. But you're not alone. You're not alone. Wherever you find yourself, in anything that I've said, you're not alone. 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental illness each year. This is from NAMI. 1 in 20 U.S. adults experience serious mental illness each year. So I could see you saying, well, what's the difference? Mental illness, serious mental illness. Serious mental illness is more of the complicated diagnosis where you're hearing voices, right? I see things from that standpoint from a whole different perspective because I am a Christian and I understand spiritual attacks in a way that a lot of people don't. And I ain't afraid of them, okay? So when people come into my office and they're talking like that, I'm able to, because of how God has gifted me, to confront it. And so whatever it is, if you're hearing voices, if you're seeing things, that's more serious. Depression, anxiety, I'm not downplaying depression and anxiety or trauma because they're real and they are real diagnoses. These are medical diagnoses. This is how I make money, is because of the diagnosis, right? So I get to qualify what you're dealing with in a way that makes sense medically, and it gets you help as a result of that. So 1 in 6 U.S. youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. That means your baby could be one. So you see your child acting out, and maybe the teacher has said, little boy John won't listen, or little boy John is interrupting class, and they come to you and they're telling you this, and oftentimes parents reject whatever is being offered, whatever assistance is being offered, whether it's therapy or it's therapy and medication. It's rejected. I want to stop you. You want to set your child up for success. If the teacher is saying little Johnny boy is interrupting class, that means he's not learning. Whether you want to say he's bored, the teachers are boring him, he's advanced, and that could be true. But we need him to be able to focus when he's in class. And if he's not, then let's get him the help that he needs so that he can, and he can learn, and he can become this amazing doctor that he's fully capable of becoming. So we want to remove any barriers, any boundaries, any beliefs that we may have, especially culturally. Let's talk about it. The culture stigmas of mental illness and how we got it. Well, God sent therapists. God sent psychiatrists. God created apostles. God created all these amazing gifts and talents to be used. Therapists and psychiatrists are not against that. I think that we are sent by God to help you guys figure out whatever it is that you're dealing with. So people say to me sometimes, Miss V, girl, you're my third therapist. I'm like, for real? What happened? And they're like, well, I didn't like my last one. I'm like, did you like every doctor you ever had? At Hello? No, I didn't. Right. So what did you do? I found a new one. Yeah. So just like your doctors, therapists are not one size fits all. If you get a therapist that you don't feel connected with, it's okay. Just go find another one, but don't give up. Right? Get the help that you guys truly do need. If you are thinking like maybe I might need to go talk to someone, you probably do. The Holy Spirit speaks to us. Do we believe that? Do we believe that God is who he is? Do we believe he's a way maker and a promise-keeping God? Is that the God that you serve, right? So he speaks to you, right, through whoever, and to yourself directly. He will tell you, even through the word. Even through the word, he will reveal to you what's next. God is a God to give you, he gives you vision. He gives you guidance. This is not even in my notes, and I feel the anointing. This is for somebody here. He gives you guidance. The word is a blueprint for you. It's a map. But if you don't open it, you don't know it. If you don't kneel and pray, then you don't really hear him. If you don't quiet yourself because you're so busy, then how do you know these things? And I yield. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14, and 75% by age 24, according to NAMI. NAMI stands for National Alliance of Mental Illness. I think there's a NAMI maybe in every state, but I know there's one here in Raleigh because I used to work right beside. So I know they're here, and I know they're in South Carolina because I've seen them, and I know they're in North Carolina. So I don't know if they're everywhere, but they are a trusted source of resource for mental illness. I wanted to talk with you guys about a psychology framework that, I don't know, I learned it early on and it just kind of stuck with me. I might have some other mental health professionals in the room here, and kudos to you and prayers and all the good things, because it gets real. But it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I hear the nodding. Yeah, y'all heard of it before, right? It's real. So the pretty picture would show it, but we don't have that here today. So, but for those that understand, y'all let me know if I'm wrong now. Okay, I'm counting on y'all to let me know, pull me back in if I go too far left. So it's like a pyramid, right? And in this pyramid, it's different levels. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, 5 levels that exist to reach what we call self-actualization. That's the top of the pyramid, is self-actualization. With self-actualization, you've done all the things. You are confident in who you are, what you do. You feel like a strong contributor to society because you are. At the very basic need is physiological needs. Those are the essential things like water, food. And according to Maslow, he says if a person doesn't have the essentials, then how is it possible for you to feel safe? You're not going to feel safe if you don't have food. If you don't have somewhere to live, you don't feel safe. So you ain't gonna never reach self-actualization, not from that place, until you get connected to resources. So physiological needs is at the bottom. The next level is safety. The safety is rooted in just having family around you, feeling secure in where you are. You have money, you may be working, you might be getting a trust fund, I don't know, but you have financial resources to support yourself. The third level is love and belongings. So with love and belongings, it's friendships, it's family, it's intimacy, right? If you have this third level, then you're moving towards the fourth, which is esteem. And that's self-esteem, that you feeling confident, right, in who you are, achievements in life. And then the very top of the pyramid is self-actualization. That's number 5. And so this pyramid has stuck with me throughout my career. And oftentimes when I'm called to speak, I'll share this with the room because I feel like it's so critical. I think everyone in here probably has physiological needs met, right? But do you have a sense of belonging? Do you have that feeling within? If you don't, connect with a therapist to find out what's causing you to be retreated. Maybe it's depression. Maybe you're just not reaching out to people. You don't want to. And sometimes I'll hear people say, I didn't feel like calling her back, or I didn't want to answer the call because I didn't feel like talking. That's depression. Especially if you're always like, ignore. Something's going on deeper than I just don't feel like talking to Sally Mae. Something else is happening. And maybe it's not, but go talk to a professional to help understand what exactly is going on. Let's rule it out. Let's make sure that you are good before you just like, nah, I'm good, and you know, up in age and there's nobody around you. Because that's a horrible feeling and a horrible place to be in. So Maslow hierarchy of needs, the top part of the pyramid is self-actualization. I think that's happiness. And it doesn't mean that you don't have trouble. It doesn't mean that you don't have issues. It doesn't mean that life is all, you know, perfect for you. That's not what that means. It means that you know how to undergird yourself, who to go to, how to pray, no matter what comes your way. You might shake a little bit, but you ain't gonna fall, but so far, right? So I just wanted to share the Maslow hierarchy of needs with you guys. Before I go, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to ask questions as well if you have any questions. So we're focusing on mental illness, mental blocks, and mindset. I want to talk about the why, the how, the what a little bit deeper. So our brain is where it's like our computer. One of my best friends, Christy, she passed away 2021-ish time frame, and she had brain cancer. And she used to say to me, she was not in the field, she was just a really smart girl. My family calls me Rhonda, and she would say, Rhonda, your brain is your computer. And I'm like, you're right, girl, I know it's the computer, everything is there. And she's right, though. Your brain kind of tells the body what to do, right? The what, the brain is separate from your emotions, right? The why, trauma, learning how to center yourself. And I'm going to go deeper into all of these, right? The what, being able to visualize things. The impact, when you are traumatized, you may have things like rejection. When you fear rejection, it stops you in your tracks. It stops you from stepping out because of what John did, or because of what mama said, right? Or because of what your boss said or how they treated you, right? Rejection. You fear it. And when you fear rejection, it just stops you. And then also another impact is perfectionism. Feeling like you gotta be perfect. Feeling like everything has to be perfect in your life. It doesn't. It's never gonna be. There's only one perfect person. And he stole away to pray, to get away from folks, to connect deeper with his Father. Right? So why don't you have to do it? Just some thoughts. Philippians 2:5, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. In the brain, you have different parts of the brain. I'm sure most people in here know that, right? You have the limbic system, including the amygdala. You guys have heard these terms before. I might mess it up today. Still got to work on the words and how to pronounce them, okay?